We've been married for 60 years.
People think that means we did everything right.
We stayed together, but we made mistakes that almost cost us everything.
When people hear 60 years of marriage, they imagine something unbreakable. They imagine certainty, stability, answers. What they don't imagine is how many quiet compromises live inside that number. How many moments you almost spoke and didn't. How many feelings you postponed because life felt busy or complicated or exhausting. Long marriages don't survive because everything goes right. They survive because people learn how to ignore what feels uncomfortable. Distance in marriage doesn't arrive suddenly. It grows quietly inside routines that feel normal. You stop checking in. You stop asking deeper questions. You assume understanding instead of confirming it. And because nothing explodes, you tell yourself everything is fine. We didn't stop talking. We stopped being honest. We avoided topics that felt heavy. We softened truths that felt risky. We chose silence because silence felt mature, but unspoken feelings don't disappear. They settle quietly between two people, changing the shape of the relationship over time. Once you stop being honest a few times, silence starts to feel normal. You convince yourself that some things aren't worth discussing, that certain feelings will pass on their own, that bringing them up would only create unnecessary tension. And slowly, without realizing it, you replace communication with assumption. You assume your partner understands. You assume they feel the same way. You assume that time will smooth things out. But assumptions don't build closeness. They build distance that feels justified. Silence doesn't always feel like absence. Sometimes it feels like stability. That's why it's so easy to mistake emotional distance for peace. We believed love would compensate for everything else, that as long as we loved each other, we didn't need to learn how to talk better or listen better or understand each other beyond routine. Love became the excuse we used to stop working on the relationship. But love doesn't replace effort, it requires it. Over time, love slowly turned into familiarity. We stopped being curious about each other. We stopped asking questions that mattered. We stopped noticing changes, not because we didn't care, but because we assumed we already knew everything. Familiarity can be comforting, but it can also be where connection quietly disappears. Routine is useful. It keeps life functioning. But when routine replaces intention, relationships slowly lose depth. We avoided difficult conversations because we believed they would damage the relationship. So we chose agreement instead of honesty, comfort instead of clarity, peace instead of truth. But every time you avoid the truth, you teach the relationship that honesty is unwelcome. Unspoken resentment doesn't disappear. It waits, it accumulates, it quietly changes how you see each other. Eventually, it becomes emotional fatigue, and fatigue makes distance feel inevitable. You don't need arguments to feel far apart. Sometimes silence does the job better. Work needed attention. Children needed care. Life demanded energy. The relationship slowly moved to the background. We told ourselves this was normal, that partnership could survive on leftovers. But relationships don't thrive on intention alone. They need presence. We became excellent partners in responsibility, but poor partners in intimacy. We managed life efficiently, but we stopped nurturing the relationship itself. We believed there would be time later, later to talk, later to reconnect, later to fix what felt slightly off. Later arrived, and we were older, tired, and unfamiliar. Time doesn't fix distance. That was one of the hardest things for us to understand. For years, we believed that simply staying together meant we were doing something right. That loyalty alone was proof of love, that endurance was enough. But time doesn't repair what's neglected. It only exposes it. It removes excuses. It strips away the illusion that things will somehow improve on their own. What remains is the truth you've been avoiding, that closeness requires attention, not patience. And patience without connection slowly turns into emotional absence. We stayed together. We shared a home, routines, responsibilities, and decades of memories. From the outside, everything looked solid, respectable, successful. But somewhere along the way, we stopped sharing ourselves. There was no single argument that broke us, no dramatic betrayal, no moment you could point to and say, that's when it happened. Just years of emotional distance disguised as normal life. That's the part no one prepares you for. You can lose intimacy without losing the relationship. When you finally notice the distance, it feels confusing. You recognize the person beside you. You know their habits, their voice, their routines, but you don't feel fully known anymore. And you don't feel as close as you once were. You ask yourself when it changed, and you can't find a single moment because it didn't happen all at once. It happened through thousands of small choices to stay silent, to stay busy, to stay comfortable. And that's when you understand something important. Staying together is not the same as growing together.
A long marriage doesn't mean a healthy one. It only means we stayed. Connection takes work. Please don't wait 60 years to learn that.